I will show you optimized settings to increase the Sinking City 2's performance, and these settings will also lower VRAM usage by around 2 GB as well. The game offers a few graphics options to tweak, and unfortunately only a handful of them make a meaningful difference to performance. Let's start with the CPU performance, and you would be lucky if you happen to be CPU bound, since this game is extremely GPU heavy. The closest I could come to being CPU limited on the R5 3600X is around 70 FPS in this area, so CPU performance is not what you should worry about here. Instead, you should worry about upscaling, since the in-game resolution slider still works when upscaling is enabled, further reducing the internal resolution. So make sure to keep it at 100%, and even then, the game's TSR for some reason uses a much lower internal resolution than stated. This might be a bug, which is why TSR 100% performs a lot better than expected, and also why it looks quite bad. Only DLSS works as intended here. As for FSR, it looks like it was intended to be included but didn't make it for launch, so it might come in a later update. As for view distance, I tested many scenes and wasn't able to find any difference in performance or image quality, so it might be bugged as well. Post-processing on medium enables vignetting and depth of field, and higher options improve the depth of field quality, which have a noticeable impact in cutscenes. It doesn't seem to have a measurable performance impact, so keep it at Ultra. The texture setting doesn't really make any difference, as the game automatically handles texture streaming. The effects setting affects a bunch of things. The most apparent one is rain density, which increases with each option. Don't set it to low as it disables some effects entirely, but most of the time, its visual impact is subtle. As for performance, I found that only on Ultra does it have a measurable impact, depending on the scene, so keep it on high. The foliage setting also doesn't seem to make any difference. It's possible I haven't encountered a scene where it applies, but from my testing so far, it's inconclusive. Reflections on low and medium look almost non-existent. High starts to reflect more things, while Ultra starts looking acceptable. Ultra also looks to have less shimmering than high. This setting has a major impact to the overall look of the game, as the lower options disable reflections and specularity on surfaces depending on their specularity values, which in turn makes the environment look bland. So visually, only High and Ultra look like the intended versions of the developers. As for performance, they do have a measurable impact, but they are definitely worth it. I highly recommend using Ultra. Global illumination on low uses a screen space fallback, meaning it is basically non-existent, while medium enables it, and the improvements of the higher options are so subtle you won't notice them. Don't use low at all, as the lighting in the game becomes bugged, on top of looking flat. Looking at the performance, medium and high perform similarly, while ultra further decreases performance. If you noticed, VRAM usage is way higher on low, so this is an extra reason to avoid it as well. I recommend using high for the best balance. The shading setting makes a subtle impact to the game's visuals. Notice how on low, the light from outside the window that is supposed to light up the curtains is mostly missing, or how the glass material on this lamp now looks lit from the inside. But I wasn't able to find any improvements over medium. As for performance, only on Ultra does it slightly impact FPS, and uses slightly more VRAM, so use high for the optimized setting. The hair setting has two options, high and ultra, but ultra doesn't really have that noticeably better look like in most games, and it introduces shimmering. On top of that, during gameplay, the player character wears a hat. What's even worse is performance, which is noticeably impacted. Wait, I almost forgot. Ultra also consumes a lot more VRAM as well, over 500 megabytes. So keep this setting on high at all times. And here are the optimized settings. I would like to once again thank my generous Patreon supporters who help keep me focused on producing amazing videos like this. Now for the comparisons. On max settings at native 1440p, the game is a slideshow. It's averaging a stable 21 FPS on the RTX 3060 and using up 8.5 gigs of VRAM. Switching to the optimized settings, performance increased by 31%, but we are still under 30 FPS. Only when turning on DLSS quality does performance become playable. Now we are averaging 40 FPS, which is a further 42% increase, and the total VRAM usage dropped by 2 gigs. It's a shame that this game is barely scalable, leaving users to turn to the buggy and half-baked upscaling solutions to improve performance. What do you guys think?